my time zone. Hate that I do gotta brag rap when I know I could go more abstract. Y'all dudes lying, got bad facts. I don't pop no motherfucking Xanax. I got 10 minutes, I just might kill. I got a notebook.
Alright, what's up? It's Noah Neves, and today we're talking about looking at the waveform. And yeah, okay, it's all about the waveform basically. So the waveform is right here. This is the waveform, and it's the visual representation of what's going on in the audio. And so you're recording, and that's like going up there, making up all these shapes, and basically as you get bigger, that's when it's getting louder, smaller, and it's getting softer. So yeah, okay, let me open up my notes. Okay, so yeah, knowing the waveform will help you when you're recording and mixing, and you'll kind of see stuff, and you'll they'll give you hints about what you want to do. Maybe you're recording too loud, maybe you need to turn down the gain or whatever. Have the person step back, and when you're mixing, you okay, maybe I need to do it over. You want to kind of, when you don't have a good setup, you're gonna do a lot of kind of like this guess and checking kind of thing, kind of making it up as you go, really. And yeah, guessing and experimentation. You're not gonna be hearing it anyway, so you want to make accommodations when you're mixing and recording it. And one of them is to do it visually, looking at the waveforms. And some people kind of talk against like looking too much when you're mixing, and it's more like using your ears, which is true a big part. But you know what I mean? You're going to be looking at these different parts, and that's just part of working with a DAW. I feel a DAW is you're looking at it, so you might as well, you need to take account that part into account too. So you can't totally say don't look when you mix. You know what I mean? You got to be looking at things too, and how the waveform is shaped, and especially when you're using like the spectrum analyzer and stuff like that when working with EQ and stuff. Yeah, you shouldn't be making too much big huge decisions off of looking at the waveform, but it's just kind of like a good, like, gives you signals to where you're going and how's it going usually. Okay, the size of the waveform, you really want the size like small, not too big. If it's getting too big, I mean it's gonna like, because what happens is you're gonna put gain and compression and stuff like that on these tracks, and so it doesn't really look like that too. If it was like really, yeah, basically you add gain, that brings the level up and everything. So you need to take that into account. You need to make sure your waveform is small. This is even could be too big. Like, you could be recording and be that loud, and then you can just mix it right, and it'll still sound good. You know what I mean? And it's better when it's small like that too, because then you're gonna mix it up and turn it up and do all kind of stuff like that after. So it's kind of a general size you want. You also kind of want it nice and balanced like this through the whole thing. You don't want like super big, huge peaks of some parts when the person's like kind of screaming. You don't want it like super soft where you can't hear them. Maybe they step back or whatever or something. Kind of want to avoid all that. You want to get, that's something like the same in the last video. You want to get the perfect vocal take as best you can.
DJs, models, and rappers, sisters, cousins, baby mamas, nephews, plus petty whiners, smoking with marijuana, up in the air conditioner. Don't toss that shit, just finish it. All lives are just diminishing. Stay focused to get your mind blown. Hottest motherfucking my time zone. Hate that I do gotta brag rap when I know I could go more abstract. Y'all dudes lying, got bad facts. I don't pop no motherfucking.
Okay, so yeah, you see, if you notice there, it's really soft. Yeah, sorry to turn that off. That was fucking weird. But yeah, so yeah, you it's really supposed to be nice and like kind of down low in the mix, compact, not too crazy and out there. Like, if you record really hot like that, sometimes it's just hard because you can't mix it with it. And this is when it's nice and small, the waveform, it's a good sign you can mix and you have a lot of headroom to do other stuff. Blah blah blah. Okay. Avoid big, large waveforms. You don't want it too big and distorting. It looks something like, if it looks something like this, you're recording too hot. Or if it looks something like that, you're recording too hot. If it looks like that, too hot. This is too hot. This is still pretty too hot. That's why I was doing a lot. And people can argue like something like this you could mix and it'd be fine. But even this is too hot because you're gonna add gain to it. You're gonna do a whole bunch of shit to it. I'm not sure. I mean, if it sounds good, it sounds good. But what I've kind of been coming to the conclusion is you really want just clean recording, which would be something like that. Even like this too big, like that's a good right there. And then I'll be like, yeah, that's still bigger than what I had, but something that's good right there, whatever.
You have fast DJs, my time zone. Hate that I do gotta brag rap when I know I could go more abstract. Y'all do
And you really want to just massage every parameter. Okay, and if it's overdubs, see how like this waveform's a little bigger and these two waveforms are smaller. Since this is like the overdub for this hook, then it's alright because it's kind of just gonna blend in. And if you want to layer it, it can be smaller. You don't really want it too much bigger because this kind of be distracting on the outside sometimes. But you know, if you make it work, you make it work, whatever. But generally, you want something like that, like something small or whatever, and all the waveforms will be nice and clean because you're gonna hear the whole signal, everything in the song is not gonna be distorted. Aim for small, natural recordings. Don't super compress it too. If you run like a compressor through it and just like crank the shit up, like you don't want to do that because it's gonna be safe for the recording, and then you can't really change it later, and it might not sound right eventually or whatever. But yeah, the performance and the mic placement are two really big parts that you need to focus on. Like getting the performance good and the mic placement when the person's performing. Make sure they're not too up in the face of the mic or too far away. You want that like to help and tell them to do different things, whatever, to help you get a best recording, and just walk them through whatever. Do what you gotta do as part of like getting the recording done if you're doing that. And yeah, help them and help people get a better idea of mic placement and everything when they're recording vocals, because that's a really big part. Like if you're gonna do loud parts, pull it back, whatever. If you're gonna do soft, whatever. There's all kind of intimate. If you want to do like in your face kind of shit, knowing how to use it, knowing how to do different things. You know what I mean? That's all part of just keep doing more and more music and continuously doing tracks over and over, and keep doing that, keep grinding. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You want small natural waveforms, don't make it too big, and yeah, then you're gonna mix up and turn everything up. So that's it for today. I just want to keep it nice and short. Make sure you go check out the music, Noah Neves, SoundCloud, Instagram, everything, Facebook. It's all in the description. Go down below, click it. And it got the new album coming out. This new like a little EP album coming out. Culture Shock, and I have more info on that pretty soon. So make sure you stay tuned. All right. Peace. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up.